I think we all know by now that what we wear reveals our personalities, but it may come as a bit of a shock to you to realise that your house can give away all your secrets. We have an expert here today who can read a house the way most of us read a book. Please welcome our very own house reader, Jim Schwartzman. Welcome, Jim. Firstly, I suppose it's obvious what house reading is, but how do you go about it and what does it prove?
Well, for years I did movie sets, Bert, and there I would read the script and interpret the character into the set. And it's just the reverse because basically when you read the rooms, you're reading the person. And the other thing is I've designed products here in Australia for about 25 years and done design and architecture. And you market that to certain segments, so that's very revealing. But basically it's not as difficult as it sounds.
So what do you do in house reading?
Well,
where do you start?
First of all, I believe in vibes, so you try to get a feeling for the vibe. Then you try to see how many people live there. Then you like very much to find out if they're confident about themselves, and you can do that by looking around the house to see what they're living with, whether they're crazy housekeepers, people who are always trying to polish and clean things up. And the next thing is their music, their memorabilia. Collectors are the most interesting because collecting takes over. And of course, when they collect something, that says a great deal about them.
What are they for, by the way?
Well, these came out of the house that I read in Annandale, and I took a fancy to them.
Oh, right, yeah. We sent... They're you, Jim, they're you.
Yeah, I thought so. The American flag, of course.
Sure. We sent Jim to a house. He had no idea who lived in that house, and we thought it might be interesting to see what he reads and see if he could guess who lived in this home. So this is what happened.
What an interesting street, filled with history. Houses beginning the late 1800s and probably coming into the early 1900s. And of course, not boring. What a fantastic courtyard, full of greenery. And it's called the house. What a great name for the house, the house. And the house guarded by gnomes. Gnomes have a great sense of humor. So obviously who lives here has got a good sense of humor. And of course they bring a smile to your face, and what a great way to start looking at a house. Let's go inside and have a look. Wow, charming. Have a look at that ceiling. First thing that greets you is all this really wonderful restoration. Fantastic frieze, beautiful ceiling, suede walls. Somehow I think this has not been done by the present owner, but they really love it. Look at all this fantastic stuff. I mean, everybody's got stuff, but this is wonderful. First thing I noticed is you've got to have a lot of confidence in yourself to put your junk or your stuff out. And it makes people ask you questions. It makes for great evenings. But this room has had some great evenings. The fireplace is used. Roaring fire, I can feel it. The warm Georgian rose on the walls promotes an intimacy. And I think the people that live here want sanctuary, away from something. But this is really a wonderful room full of good vibes. What about Video Easy here? Do you believe this? There's enough videotapes here to keep the entire neighborhood amused for at least a year. And then the other thing that I really notice is the changer on the coffee table. Underneath it is Dial of Food. So obviously these people are really into life. This is their sanctuary, and there's a wonderful feeling of history and great down-home fun about this living room. Whoever lives here has got to have a really big mouth. Get a load of this toothbrush, will you? And what about the glasses? Do they suit me? I'm sitting on a loo wearing funny glasses. I can't believe this. This bathroom is efficient. You can shower, you can wash your hands, and you can go to the loo without moving from one spot. And the most terrific thing, you don't have to peek in the medicine cabinet. Behind me, all is revealed. Now let's take a look at that special place, the bedroom. All is now revealed. I found Tom Selleck's shirt, so it's obviously Tom Selleck's house in Australia. This is a male bedroom. I don't mean necessarily that just a male sleeps here, but I mean a male selected everything in here. Again, there's this wonderful sense of just ordinary clutter and things that just sort of happen. Everything in this house is part of music or entertainment. You can feel a good sense of music integrating the walls, and great compact disc collection, great video collection, great record collection behind me. Again, not organized in some incredible teak cabinet, but just strewn about. And I'm positive that whoever lives here knows exactly where every single thing is. I've been here a couple of hours now, and I believe I've begun to pick up the real feeling of the person that lives here. And I think the main person that lives here is a recluse that does public relations. A person with an enormous appetite for love, for history, for music, for humor, for food, for having people around, and great amounts of laughter. And I think this is a very special house. It's going to be very hard for them or him or her to leave because it has a magic. And I've been in this business so long, I know that if a house has magic, the people that are there are happy. So basically what I'm saying to you is that the things you live with, they have such a strong voice. And in this particular house, there's this wonderful, loud voice for appetite. But at the same time, there's this recluse environment where this becomes a very special sanctuary. In fact, as I look around, I know this person's got to be in music and entertainment because the appetite for music is to be seen. I've showed it to you. So I only want to ask one question. Hey, Bert, have you moved to Sydney?
No, I haven't. We can reveal now that we sent Jim to Narreen, and that indeed is the home of Malcolm Fraser.
John Howard.
No, it's not John Howard's either, nor is it Archbishop Little's. I'd like to introduce to you the man who lives in the home you've just enjoyed with Jim. Please welcome Jonathan Coleman. Well, that's where you live, eh?
Yes, and for all those potential housebreakers, there's an incredible alarm system there.
And the dogs.
Four dogs, four huge schnauzers. Well, little kind of big.
Well, you can truthfully say now that a million women have seen your bedroom.
Yeah, and did you see the little thing hanging up on the door?
Yeah, what was that all about?
Oh, it's from the lingerie parade that's coming up later on in the
Oh,
show.
I see.
I had some of the girls. I was just doing a bit of rehearsing, a bit of auditioning, that sort of thing.
Jonathan, I did notice, I mean, I'm not too sure of your setup, if you'll pardon the expression. Do you live in the house by yourself?
I am sort of engaged, and someone
But separate rooms.
Yeah, of course. This is an Australian television network program, and of course we're very religious, deeply religious people. Did you see the very small religious area of the house?
I did, yes, I saw the Madonna, yeah.
The Madonna. Yeah, it's the new Madonna clip. It's very popular. No, actually, I will be getting hitched later in the year.
That's terrific.
So I've been told.
Well, I thought it was...
I'm sorry. If my mother's watching, thank goodness my girlfriend's overseas. But that we
Who
did
was your
have
girlfriend, by the way?
Margot Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yes.
And yes, I'll show you a photo. You see, remember those Polaroids I sold you that night?
That's Margot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Margot. Remember you said...
By the way, I'd like Paddy's back if you don't mind.
Right.
Jonathan, in looking at that home on television, I mean, it looks terrific. It looks a fun area. It looks as if it's really lived in.
It is. It's a very comfortable house. I mean, so many of the things that Jim said are true. I'm a real bowerbird. I collect things, and from doing like 4 years of Simon Townsend's Wonderwall, every time you go out to a job, you'd see something. And
Jonathan, rephrase that. You knock stuff off. That's what you do.
I borrow things. Well, what about you at the Mirage?
Yes.
I got a phone call from Mr. Skase saying, could we have the ashtray back?
Have you been there, by the way, the Mirage?
I have, yes. Just during... they only take you up there during negotiation of contracts.
Do they?
So I'm due for another trip soon, I think.
All right, well, it's a great spot. If you don't get the call, that's when you start worrying,
right.
isn't it?
But
Jim, what did you think of the house? I mean, now that you know it's Jonathan's, I guess your thinking would be coloured.
I felt I wanted to know the person that lived there. There'd been a lot of really good times. What you missed was a great swimming pool out back and a wonderful little breakfast nook that overlooks all that.
We don't get much chance to use the swimming pool in Sydney anymore because you just take water out of it all the time because it rains so much.
Is it in a swish area of Sydney? I don't expect you to tell us the suburb.
It's the inner western suburbs, so it's sort of used to be kind of, you know, like sort of Paran. It's sort of Paran-ish.
Interesting.
Yeah, sort of like...
It's a lovely home. What'd you pay for it?
I don't know.
In Sydney, $1 million.
Pixie and Chris bought it for me. As a,
Did they?
No, just joking. No, actually...
That was only a joke, wasn't it?
It wasn't just joking.
Jonathan, thanks for being with us today.
But one of the things that you didn't notice was that I've done a lot of that work myself, and I'm a real handy person. I put together a barbecue. I put together a lot of the shelving
put
myself.
together
Well,
the
see, I
shelving
have
and the barbecue?
This manual, in fact, I want to do a little plug for the... it's the Marconi manual, which is... it sort of can solve anything. I mean, I am a handyman. You can see... Well, I mean, I'm not just wearing... Thank you very much. I'm not just wearing this for my own good, you see. These are my handyman clothes. You can set me any task you want during this program, and I, without fail... I put a lot of the music stands for the band together. I actually put that piano together. That's just a small one of the small things I did.
What could you do for us, Jonathan? What did you have in mind?
I could take a couple of the audience members apart. I could go up and fix up the videotape area upstairs. I could put, you know, if you've got something here that you want me to put together, I can do it.
my floor manager. Could you put him together?
He's been taken apart a few times.
Yeah,
I can
has
put him
he?
together.
What?
Yeah.
What's happened to your cap? Put the cap back on, please, Peter. Peter, would you get your cap and put your cap back on?
Had to be returned to the mirage. No, I mean, why don't you take a break and we'll find something, and before the end of the show I'll have it.
What say we do it now?
Oh, okay. Oh,
I tell you what, it just happens that you've got a barbecue beside you.
What
What a fluke.
Where the hell did this come
Goodness
from?
gracious. Inspiration.
It's a barbecue that I've never seen before in my life, of course, from Barbecues Galore. We've got barbecues galore.
Well, do you want to get into it? Do you want to start putting it together for us?
Yeah, I'll do it. Let's start.
Okay.
So it's just any fool.
This is just to prove what you saw in Jonathan's home is a good indication of what a man can do when he really puts his mind to it.
Yeah, I may need a few of the crew members during the...
I tell you, better still, why don't you take all the stuff with you? You can take up the crew members too. I'll choose them for you.
Yeah.
You can take them to another studio, and they'll supervise the fact that you're doing it by yourself.
Third, I don't want to miss the lingerie.
We'll have it on tape for you.
All right.
Okay, John, you see if you can how you go with the barbecue thing for the and work very hard, Jonathan, because this is your idea and I want it to work.
Maybe after the...
For your sake.
All right, this for your sake. Thank you very much. Mr. Skase, if you're watching.
We'll take... Hey, I've just noticed something over here too. Pardon me, sir. No, yes. What's Kevin Hines doing over here and not me? Are they trying to tell me something? No. That's very hurt. Wayne, get my bronze immediately. I'm waiting on my bronze. Don't take it personally, Wayne. There you go. That's where that belongs. And this one I'll give to the lady who was in. We had Kevin Hines on the show on Friday, and I walked across here, Jonathan and Jim.
I saw it. Smashed.
And do you watch everything on the 7 Network?
I never miss it. And wasn't it fabulous last night on Australia's Most Wanted?
What happened last night? I was in the air. What happened?
Oh, well, they took off... You know how they usually have black masks on people? They actually pulled one off for a change, and it was a well-known executive at the 7 Network.
What was the charge?
Mr. Fenton, I don't know what it was, but he'll be coming to...
Look, we'll take a break, and after this we have the much vaunted lingerie parade that Jonathan wants to see and indeed wants to be in. We'll take a break.
Yeah.